I had no plans. I had no plans to make any more videos. Why? I'll tell you why. I'm sick. I grow tired of this inhibiting electrical eye pointing at me. And also, I have been investing in a few little audio thingamies, right? Now, I'm using the previous webcasts that lasted for about 2 minutes each, right? They were this is embarrassing. They were mic tests, not due to compatibility with Google Hangouts, but because I'm using Linux and I haven't found a satisfactory sound recording program. If Audacity doesn't work, what will work, right? So I invested in now I better be careful about this. I invested in a battery because this mic, for 3 years, this mic hasn't worked. And I have, because I'm a Linux user, you tend to think, well, it's a problem with Linux, right? So I'm actually recording. I realize it works. I'm not entirely 100% certain about the levels. So if it's buzzing at this stage, maybe fix your own sort of your stereo settings, right? So I've got a backup here, and this I know has pretty decent sound. This is a cheap, trusting recorder, and its damn battery is running down. Right, so I'm going to do this. Just going to precautionary measure. Turn the screen right down. How much battery have we got here? That's all right. 53 minutes. And I'm not going to be talking like this all night, right? So as you can see from the title, I'm digressing somewhat. There is a point to this webcast. There is a point. And I'm going to be changing the batteries, which run out quite frequently as I'm talking to you, right? There's a point. And at this stage, I wish I had notes, because I didn't plan to do a broadcast proper, but I thought, it's kind of therapeutic. I haven't been feeling very well lately, so anything that will get the blood moving through the veins, so to speak, is veins is good. Right. So as I intimated, there's a topic. The topic is sorcery and the Advertiser. Now, I really do not wish to rehash stuff you've heard before. Rather, upon approaching this subject, terms have to be made clear, right? Terms, the word terms, a nomenclature, words within a set vocabulary, right? You have a sense that something is off when you hear these repetitive phrases. Do you know what I'm talking about? Well, as I've clearly stated, this is the title should be quite obvious: sorcery and advertising. What do I mean by sorcery? I don't like words that really don't have a meaning, or the meaning is far too abstract. Though there's an abstraction in most words, right? As language as it is. the idea is that it took me a long time to figure out what the word means. To actually, I'd rather to be on the same page as those who have suggested this is the meaning. Now, when it, really there's a popular meaning to words that confuses people, or rather, it both confuses and gives suggestions what the deeper implications of them are. So sorcery won't necessarily physically cause a rabbit to manifest in a hat. Really, as I understand it, my meaning of the word is not the common meaning. It's the ability to change the perception of essentially everybody. That's the aim, but that's as many people as possible. Now, what gave me reason to think that this is possible caused me, when it comes to advertising, right? Caused me to revise things that I had sort of shunned within the realms of sort of so-called conspiracy theory. And also, I've been quite clear. I don't speak about this subject much. That magic occultism is it's very much self-hypnosis, and the results that people claim so far, if I'm going to be perfect, I can only be honest and say that, well, what are the results? There's a little something I found what caused me to sort of look for evidence, or to reevaluate evidence. Upon hearing most mundane thing, certain phrases in videos, popular videos, the most popular videos, as I can tell, the most popular style of video, one of them are the sort of fashion type videos. We have these sort of pretty, or by means of the aesthetics of good lighting, as you can well see, pretty little somethings who are talking about fashion. You'll see this thing where people, this is odd, this is very odd, unless you're female, then it may not seem so odd. These little trends on YouTube where people will show their morning routine. Now, the morning routine, this isn't, okay, I'm sorry to bring this in. This is a digression. That is really, really based upon temperament. The words morning routine are, yeah. So, so you have these video creators now create an illusion of their own. This illusion of a very organized life. Look at this, as I've done here. Clear, minimalistic elegance, as this white background clearly displays. That was unintentional in the context of the video. I just think it looks good, right? And I hear these I will see these video YouTubers, right? They'll produce these fashion type videos, and this may sound mundane, but I watch all kinds of videos to get a view of what YouTube is, what kind of aesthetics people want in videos. Certain brands have It's a catchphrases, catch lines, right? That aren't present, as far as I can tell, aren't present in advertising as we know it. I'll hear these specific phrases regarding a brand of shoes that I shan't name. Very clear, and only to one brand and style of shoes. I am absolutely in love with, and nothing else. Some of these fashion vloggers, right? I have some of the most fantastic clothes. You know, sort of. What's the word? What's the word they use? Designer, and I mean really designer. Things are sort of unique. There may have been 100 to 1,000 of these things made. You know, yet that phrase, that phraseology, isn't attached to anything else. But what is not a particularly expensive item of clothing, but seen, it's something that almost everybody has. And I tried to search for the roots of this, and it's a meme. It's a meme. But the specifics of that phrase, I'm absolutely in love with, I adore, but most often it's I am absolutely in love with. Certain stages are phrased in a certain way. I don't believe it's an in-joke that I'm missing. Another thing, stylistically, certain free background music in videos. And the video has a kind of not eerie, not on the surface, not eerie, but a kind of a clock, a pendular tone to it. It's a ukulele stroke music box type song. You may hear one or two of them using it, but it's throughout. Now, we're looking at advertising, the peculiar things you'll find in sort of broadsheet tabloid ads, magazine ads. You'll find when you realize these things are there, you will have a hard time not seeing them. Let's look at the Starbucks logo. Get one of those cups, right? We got one? Right, one of the Starbucks cups. What the hell does Starbucks mean? That's the realm of conspiracy theory. I'm not going into it. Turn the cup, turn the logo upside down, and you see for what already looks like a somewhat mermaid type woman. Now it's even more like such, except her legs are akimbo, and there's a sexual marking of brands, so to speak, and these are seen throughout. These are everywhere. This shop is everywhere. Does the logo help? Does that sit in the psyche? You'll see genitalia everywhere, and I had a what do you call it? Like I think in America you call it shop, but it's kind of the more technical side of that, because it does deal with some electronics, right? CDT, I think, custom design and technologies. It's a cross between design, woodwork, and electronics. So I mean, a teacher who I think a teacher must have some kind of must have autism of some kind, because the thing that he said was completely inappropriate, and I'll tell you what it was. It talks about the packaging. It talks about the packaging. I believe now I think his nationality might come into it. He was actually a Chinese teacher. And maybe some cultural thing that allows that sort of causes them to be honest about certain things. He talked about and you've heard this, right? You know about deodorant, roll-on deodorant bottles. If you haven't heard about this, I apologise. It's not something that you. If you have a sensitive nature, just turn the volume down, right? For the next couple of minutes at least, right? There may or may not be deodorant bottles that very clearly resemble the phalluses. This CDT teacher said, and I what provoked him to say it, apart from, well, of course, the assignment was to do with packaging. And he said that they make deodorant bottles and other sort of household cleaning appliances more penis-like because women buy them. And of course, in the class, you would hear, "Oh, but why don't they make calculators that are penis-shaped?" Oh, because when housewives are out shopping, they don't tend to buy calculators. You could say, yeah, I think that actually it was this. But pencils are penis-like. Pens are penis-like. But roll-on deodorants are fairly new, and packaging has the progression from not at all penis-like to penis-like has been quite progressive. Whereas the design progression of the pen, you say the smoking pipe, has been quite slow. Has been quite natural. The deodorant bottle, I can show you a few examples of it lying around. Of course, I'll wipe them off first. Find a roll-on deodorant. You may find one. You may find a few. Okay, find one that's particularly anyone that's aimed at women. What ones are aimed at women? Well, smell them. You can tell, right? Anything with they all look like the glands. They're all glands-like. They're all sort of like a Nazi. If you think what a Nazi helmet, if you haven't seen a penis, what a Nazi stormtrooper's helmet looks like, that's what a glands looks like. So it's kind of purplish, pinkish, depending on the ethnicity. They look so glands-like that it's quite obscene and quite entertaining. But you'll find these so the idea is sorcery exists to change consciousness. You can have NLP. You can use NLP, you can use all kinds of meditation, other such things. They are all sorcery if applied in the right way, because they can change the body. They can change people's perception of reality. And that is what reality is as much as we experience of it. We have feelings about things, emotions that are essentially fictions, because they relate to things that aren't true, that really don't help us in any way. They help us to reproduce, though, so that's why we have them. As depressing as it is, though this is rather an engineered sort of, you can say, memes, mimic programming, mimic sorcery. A meme is an idea that it's an immaterial thing that embeds itself in the subconscious. That is why. That's why these, saying these catchphrases that seemingly have appeared sort of not osmotically. They've appeared sort of they're self-generating. These haven't, as far as I can tell, been generated by an advertiser, albeit by what they call sorcery. There's some technique that is invisible. This thing. Remember South Park? If one, you got to get one girl screaming, then they're all screaming, just like the Beatles. And now let's think of something. Okay, the aesthetics of things. You'll find in sort of two-dimensional advertising. I meant to mention this. Sexual symbols, things relating to sort of really not subtly the genitalia and the sort of at times ejaculating male members, sex acts throughout, if you know where to look. And also far stranger things that I won't talk about here yet. And so I'm interested in when it comes to this advertising sorcery. It exists. Subliminals exist, right? If they didn't work, which they do, if they didn't work, women wouldn't smoke. You may find the occasional some women that may or may not smoke because they tried it and would sort of get attached to it, but it would not be a societal, wouldn't have become a societal norm. Didn't they place? Were they not going to place the magic phallic wand between the female's fingers, and to yes, of course, to encourage film actresses to do it, and for it to be seen as something empowering, something sexual, maybe something rebellious, a conformist kind of rebellion. That's the best kind of rebellion. Well, that's the most attractive kind of rebellion. Some kinds of programming that they're not really sinister, but they're interesting. I watched this. It's kind of sad. I watched this documentary where this scientist of some I don't believe he was he could almost fool someone. He could almost fool you into thinking he was a British national by birth, but he wasn't. Of some perhaps German extraction, I don't know. That does have giving on things. And the experiments that he was going to undertake and the way they went about it was just pure autism. Pure, someone who's completely cut off. Somebody who aimed for something he couldn't execute properly. He tried to see the progression of pop music, and he couldn't see that there was actually no clear. There was no clear pattern as far as he observed it, which is one trend, if you want. There wasn't a pattern in terms of evolution, because there are sort of genres that come and go that don't seem to be connected to other genres, which is very, very, very naive to think that. I may sneeze. I might have to pause the mic. I might have to cut the mic off for a second if I sneeze. What he did seem to notice, which is damned obvious, right? Is what gets big regardless of genre, is what is kind of ordinary, right? Now that was yeah, that was a fine observation. Yeah, the conclusion. But what the factors this person didn't take into account? What can ordinary music be used for? And that one of the in my experience, I didn't listen to the radio much when I was growing up, not music radio. The whole mesmeric medium of in-store radio, in-store stereo, it wasn't even mentioned. In fact, the songs that are sort of drummed into people's heads day in, day out when they are shopping, when they are at a train station, on the bus, airports. That's something that is you have this sort of we say middle of the road in a way, unsurprising music. But that is only the vehicle. That's only the vehicle. That is only the vehicle. Because I've heard this, and I predicted changes in musical taste years. And you just got a single word for it, years in advance. And I predicted the changes in musical taste by listening to the so-called middle of the road, so-called ordinary, not great, not awful, ordinary music. I predicted that not only was it more organic, more rock-based music would become more popular, would become more ordinary, would become more commonplace thing. You'll hear it played on the radio more. There'll be radio stations that will be playing stuff they wouldn't have before, because certain instruments. I heard certain instruments in girl band music. Certain edge. You need to really have a musical ear to hear it. And then there'll be another few middle of the road songs that will have certain sonic aspects turned up. And the program is there. It's sort of like you've like introducing children to certain flavors. You give them a glass of wine that's sort of 1/5 wine and 2/3 water. Then you give them 1/3. That's 1/5 wine and 4/5 water, right? You can say of the glass, liquid measure. And then you'll give them maybe 2/5 wine, and then you'll move it up, or you'll give them a mild curry, and then you'll give them slightly spicier curry, and then they'll get a flavor for it, a taste for it, depending on how many taste buds they have. So yeah. How do you put things in people's minds? In many ways, but repetition, and rather omnipresence is the best way.